Okay, this is a bit different from my other videos and really more of a rant than anything actually informational, but today I wanted to pose a question. Why are popular people so boring? Okay, so when I mean popular people, what do I mean? Well, still being in school, I obviously mean other people in school. The ones who are usually in big groups act like they're better than everyone else and are just kind of annoying, in my opinion. So I'm not just talking about anyone who's like vaguely popular, you know, like musicians or actors. I'm talking like school bully level people. Something I've observed through hearing accounts of my friends, of my own direct accounts, is that for some reason, popular people don't really have any actual interests. At least not in the way that people such as my friends and I do. For context, I'm by no means popular. Shocker, I know, considering the content of my channel. I have a decently large friend group, as well as quite a few people I wouldn't consider, you know, close friends, but I'm friendly with, but I'm definitely not popular. And neither are they, really. And luckily, I've gotten past that middle school behaviour of feeling jealous about not being popular, and honestly, I'm very happy with the groups that I'm part of. But that doesn't stop me from observing the absurdity of the quote-unquote popular people. Viewers of this channel will clearly see a trend of me having a lot of interests. To name a few, Johnny Dash, Willwood, Jiraiya, Tally Hall, Legend of Zelda, as well as a couple interests I haven't talked about as publicly yet, but still take up a solid percentage of my life, such as Sonic. My friends have a number of interests too, some being separate from mine. Quite a lot of them like Sonic, Zelda, Johnny Dash, and Willwood, but they also watch shows such as Arcane. This is not to say that I don't like Arcane, it's just not like a full-on interest. It was very good though. And they also like other musicians to me, such as Cavetown or Korn or Leve, and other games such as The Binding of Isaac or League of Legends. But the main point is that we all have our own interests as well as some shared ones. In contrast, when was the last time you genuinely heard a popular person talk about an interest of theirs? And I mean this as a genuine question, because I sure as hell haven't. And this isn't to say that they don't like anything. From what I hear, they usually like watching TikTok and YouTube, and going out with their friends and holding parties and apparently getting drunk, I guess. But none of these are really interests. They're just activities or experiences. Now, if one of them was a YouTuber or something like that, that would count as an interest. That counts as something that they like enjoy doing. Or if I'm talking about something like shopping. Shopping is not an interest, but if you were shopping for like a specific thing, then I would count that as an interest. But shopping isn't something you can go to your friends and like explain the experience of shopping, because it just is. But I can go up to my friends and say, this is what happens in this Zelda game, and that counts as an interest, is what I'm trying to say. And I really think it comes down to the question of what makes someone popular. From the experience of someone who is not popular and is sort of looking in on their life, they just seem to be very extroverted, whereas most of my friends are ambiverts or just straight up introverts. They also seem to have a lack of respect for authority, talking back or just having general conversation with teachers that are just sort of rude, I guess. Thirdly, and this isn't the case with all of them, but with a large percentage, quite a few of them are judgmental of particularly uninteresting things. Like, as many of you will know, they'll seemingly laugh at anything even when literally no one else finds whatever happened funny. However, I think I want to point out that this isn't the case with all popular people, rather when popular people are in groups. Quite often, speaking to one of them, one-on-one, can even result in a nice conversation, or at the very least cooperation and a lack of being judged. It's only when a number of them are together when they seemingly use each other's energy to build up some kind of greater confidence to bully people. And I'm well aware that how much it sounds like I'm talking about actual animals throughout this, like some sort of pack mentality, but I have literally no other way to say it. One of my theories as to how popular people do not have proper like fixed interests is that they don't really spend that much time alone. They prefer to be hanging out with other people, therefore not leaving much time for them to be alone, and when they're physically not able to meet up, they're usually texting their friends or on call with them, still interacting. On the other hand, more introverted people tend to need that break from people, even their close friends, after a while of interacting. When I get home from a day of having to interact with people, the only thing I want to do is something that will only involve myself, whether it is listening to music or playing a game. I, and many others, use our interests to wind down from the social interaction endured throughout the day. Not only that, but being friends with other introverts means sometimes you don't have anyone who wants to interact with you at the end of a long day, meaning that you need to find other ways to occupy yourself, e.g. with your interests. So, is there any real issue with this, apart from the fact that I think the reaction of a quote-unquote unpopular person speaking to a popular person is usually some rude laugh, which I see as an issue? It's not really an issue to not have interests. It's just interesting to think about how different I live my life compared to how they do. I could not imagine not having an interest, and though my interests have changed as I've grown up, I don't think I've ever been at a point in my life where I just definitely didn't have any interest. I also think it just sort of makes them difficult to talk to, because it's not like you can form any sort of meaningful connection with them if they have nothing to talk about other than a standard, "How are you? What have you been doing lately?" It really means that the groups between quote-unquote popular and quote-unquote unpopular people will likely never be able to combine or become friends with each other due to a lack of relatability with each other. Okay, my rant is over. Leave a comment if you have anything to say about this video, if by some miracle a person who is popular in school is watching this, and let's just say that's unlikely given the content of my channel, and has an interest. Let me know in the comments. I'm just interested to see if that is a thing that is like confined to my school, or if it's everywhere that popular people just don't really have interests. Maybe it's just they don't talk about them. But I feel like from all the overhearing I've had, I've never heard one of them say, "Oh, I'm gonna watch insert creator," or "I really like this franchise of something." But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.